Hi, my name is ReShonda Tate Billingsley. I'm the author of several books, including my latest, my 25th, The Secret She Kept. And I'm also the author of Let the Church Say Amen, which is about to be made into a movie to air on BET, directed by Regina King. And I am just thrilled to be doing what I do. I love it so much. I would do it for free. The great thing is I don't have to. But I am just one of those people that have always believed in the support that black bookstores give us. I hate to see the turn that many of the black bookstores have taken, but I think it's indicative of the economy in general. The industry itself is diversifying. People are looking for, they have so many options. They have television, they have the digital era, and what's happening is that a lot of our black bookstores got left behind. Many of them do have to diversify in order to keep up. So when you look at black bookstores that are withstanding the course of time, I look at Pyramid Books and Fine Art in Little Rock, a very, very great story, a prime example of a store that has expanded. They do art as well as books, and so they've been able to survive by diversifying. Unfortunately, in this day and age, our black bookstores can't just sell solely books because of the digital era, the rise in ebooks. You just can't be profitable selling just books, and especially now that you're looking at stores like Target and Walmart and even grocery stores are getting in the book business. So now black bookstores, it's important to look at ways to expand their inventory, and I think that's the key to trying to see those survive. And then it also, the onus lies on us, because what happens is, you know, many of the black bookstores, they charge full price, and then we look and we see, oh well, it's marked down $2 over here, and we spend $10 worth of gas going over to the other side of town to save $2 on a book. And so I think a lot of times we need to look at investing in the community. When we go and we support these black bookstores, we're investing in those businesses, we're investing in the community, and they in turn, many of them end up investing in us authors.
Hi, I'm Renee Flagler, author of Mountain High Valley Low, Misguided, In Her Mind, and what's coming soon is Raging Blue. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm all over the place. When it comes to the bookstores, this is a subject that is really, 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 really close to my heart. Just being, you know, a person that is an advocate for entrepreneurs and things like that. I remember I came into this game many years ago, 2004, and there were so many bookstores. You know, my tour was wonderful. I got to go to the Book Bazaar, you know, owned by Emma Rogers, and it's just wonderful stores all over the place, from Detroit to Dallas and Houston and Atlanta. I mean, huge places, you know, SO1 Books and Hue-Man. Hue-Man brings me to the fact that, you know, this is an iconic bookstore, and we've seen so many people come through those doors, even from Bill Clinton to Mary Monroe, and to know that they're going to be closing soon is just like a chapter that's closing in our lives. It's really, really, really just very pivotal for the book industry as a whole, for me as an author. And, you know, we really have to, the ones that are still out there, like Sisters Uptown and Deja Vu, we really have to support our black bookstores, because if we don't, who will? Just like with black books in general, if we're not supporting our marketplace, who else is going to support our marketplace? So we have to keep our black authors alive, our black books alive, our black bookstores alive. It's just like colleges. If we don't send our children to HBCUs, historical black colleges and universities, you know, we can only look forward to their doors shutting. So this legacy of reading is a lot bigger than just, you know, advocating and getting somebody to read, but it's more about keeping our stories alive, keeping our culture alive, keeping our businesses alive, and helping them to thrive, being there for them, supporting them, so that, because if we support them, then we're actually in essence supporting ourselves. So, you know, it's heartbreaking. It's something we got to look at, but we can also look at ways to, you know, come out of this in a positive way, help the ones that are still in existence continue to thrive, and continue to do things with them, support them in whatever way that we can, and just kind of come together. If we bring that sense of unity back, I think just even with Amazon and everybody else being out there, there's so much that we can do, because we are a powerful group of folks. You know, we come together every now and then, a couple of times a year, but we keep our industry growing. Who's buying our books? We are. So if we can do that for ourselves, and we can do that for our industry.
Hi, I'm Victor McGlothin, I'm a best-selling author from Dallas, Texas. Author of 13 titles, 13 best-selling titles, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about how I feel the industry's changed with the dying, unfortunately, of so many African-American bookstores throughout the country. It is a shame, and if you ask me, my one man's opinion, I think with the advent of urban fiction books kind of crowding the market and drowning out what I would consider good literature. And I'm not saying that there's not a place for urban fiction or street fiction books, but because so many came in and there was such a wealth of them at the same time, I don't think the black bookstores were prepared for them, nor the black reading public. And I do think one thing that it did was bring a lot of new young readers in, but I think it unfortunately had them transfixed on only that type of story. So it boxed out everything else. And then once they got bored with that and wanted to go to something a little more, I think, advantageous for a reader trying to grow and grow their library as well, there wasn't much else because there were so many authors who weren't getting book deals anymore or who decided to do other things. And after 13 titles, likewise, what I decided to do was work on film. So I've written 6 screenplays, 2 TV shows, and in the next month, I'm filming my first 30-minute short, and also my first reality show, Deadbeat X Squad. So that's what happened in my 13-year career. After the 13th book, which was set in New Orleans, 1955, The Secrets of Newberry, I decided it was time to move upstream and move on. And so next for Victor McGlothin is film. But for everyone who has been a part of my journey and my success as a novelist, thank you very much. Thank you. I love you. Much respect.
Hi, my name is Yvette Hayward, and I'm the founder of the African American Literary Award Show. I am extremely heartbroken that Hue-Man Bookstore is closing. I go to Hue-Man Bookstore for everything, for books, for book signing events, you know, sometimes even when I want to work there and I need a quiet place, and I'll just get some tea and sit down and discuss things. I would talk with Margaret Allen. So hearing that it's closing is just, I can't understand it. I mean, I wish that there was something more that we can do so that it can stay open, as well as all black-owned bookstores that would still be open. There's so many that have just gone in the past, and I'm really floored. I mean, there are no words to even express how I feel about it. I don't even know what more I can say. I'm just really heartbroken. Margaret, please know that I love you. I will extremely miss you, and if there's anything you ever need, please feel free to give me a call. I'll be here.
My name is TaNisha Webb, and I'm the author of The Ultimate Book Club Experience, How to Create and Maintain a Successful Book Club. And I'm also the publisher and editor-in-chief of Book Club 101 magazine, which is a new magazine that is catered towards book clubs and people that are reader-friendly. And so it's basically a magazine that's telling you different ideas on keeping a book club together, starting one. We have 5 writers that are on our magazine staff at this point in time. We come out quarterly, so we'll have another one coming out this summer. And we also feature some favorite authors and also a new author in the magazine just to introduce you to, and then also give book recommendations and advice as far as book clubs are concerned. Now that I'm on my first book tour with my book club magazine and the book, it's been really changing for me because of the simple fact that there's a lot of bookstores that I would like to do book signings at that are no longer in business. In Book Club 101 magazine, the spring edition, I actually did an article that was talking about how ebooks are changing the way that books signings in brick and mortar stores are actually occurring, and if over time is that going to change? Are we going to see book signings done differently? And really encouraging my sister book clubs to go out and support these authors before we no longer see any authors in there. So some of the bookstores that's in Kansas City have actually closed down recently, Willis Books, and then also Books and Beignets in Jackson, Mississippi area has also closed down. I just did a book signing at Doc Bookstop in Dallas, Texas, which has started off my book tour for this summer. And so they're still going strong and trying to keep their doors open, but it's really important that we all go out and we support these African American bookstores so we have a place to go and, and just have somewhere that we can support these black authors as well.
Hi, I'm Oswald Scott, and I'm the author of The Promise, A Black Man's Guide to Money, Power, and Respect. And the subject is about black bookstores. And really, black bookstores are, I guess, a dying breed. It appears that over the last several years, with the advent of Barnes & Noble and Amazon, it's just been very, very hard for a lot of black bookstores to really be in place. I really miss the black bookstores. As a kid growing up, I could always go in the black bookstore and find out who was the latest authors that was coming up in the black community, and it was just a source of information. There's also a lot of them. There was a community-based place where you can go and really learn. As an author now, I find that it's really difficult to really promote your books to the black bookstores because they just really don't exist anymore. I mean, really, you know, it's just really tough that we really have lost those bookstores. I don't know what we really can do to really bring back some type of mechanism. I guess the internet is going to have to be the place where black bookstores become, I guess, alive again. You know, setting up bookstores on the internet and establish them as black bookstores, because it appears that most people are on the internet now. But really, just that one-on-one ability to touch people, be around people, and get instant response from your work, we're really missing that, and I wish we could really go back to those days. But I guess we're going to have to really rely on organizations such as Cush City and Troy Johnson and his group as far as keeping black literature alive.
Hi, I'm Olivia J out of Atlanta, Georgia. And right now, my newest title is Sheridan. The favorite bookstore I can think of right now is NuBian Bookstore in South Lake Mall. It's located in Monroe, Georgia. It's a small, independently owned bookstore by a young black man. He has, other than books, he also has a lot of black African-American art, African-American motifs that you can purchase. There's a lot of sorority, fraternity items as well, and he's very personable, knows a lot about books and booksellers and authors, and you go in there and you have a pleasant experience every time.
Hello, I'm Pamela P. Reed. I'm an author. I wanted to express that one of my favorite bookstores, African-American bookstores, is Community Books Center. It's located on Bayou Road in New Orleans, Louisiana, and the owner is Miss Vera Williams. And the reason is because this bookstore survived beyond Katrina. A lot of the other African-American bookstores are not open, but this one is still going on, and I enjoy that. I think that's such a positive point for me, because I still have a place where I can go and get just the books I may want to need, that I want to read for me. And I just want to continue to give the support of something that is a great need, and hoping that many more will start coming back and growing and getting more African American bookstores that we can use in our community.
You're doing a wonderful thing. And I don't know where any of us would be if we lose you and some of the events that we still have running right now. Right. So we all need to support, drop what you're doing whenever you can, and be as supportive as you can, not just to people like Clarence, but to authors, even self-published authors, and particularly independent black bookstores. Like very important. Okay, thank you.
You know, what Clarence is doing here is so critically important to black books, our ability to tell our stories, our ability to control what stories are told. You know, I've been in this industry about 15 years, and I have not seen it any worse, and I don't put it down on it, than it's been. It's as worse as it's been since I got started. And the reason I say that is because when I first started, I had a list of over 300 independently owned black bookstores. That list is less than 100 now across the country. And there's no dialogue, there's no discussion about it, there's no outrage over this. And it's substantial. And it's not just the bookstores, it's websites, believe it or not. It's actually more difficult for me now than it's ever been. Despite the fact that there are tools enabling me to do almost anything I want to do online, it's just much more difficult to compete in this environment against social media, Facebook, things like that. It's much more difficult for a person who creates a website to get noticed. And because of that, people don't even enter the game anymore. So there are less websites now dedicated to black books than there were 5 years ago. And that's a shame. Also, it's the same thing, you know, I read an article, someone did a study on the New York Times and their book reviews. I don't want to quote the stat, but the vast majority, it must be 90%, are basically reviews of white books. They don't review self-published books, you can forget that, and they barely review our books. So books written by black people, and even if you throw in the ones who are from Africa and outside the US, is a very small percentage of what's being reviewed. And newspapers are struggling, black newspapers are struggling, and as a result, coverage of our books is almost non-existent. You know, we had a great magazine called Black Issues Book Review not too long ago. We have magazines like QBR and others. Some of them are all online, but they are nothing compared to what they were, you know, after the advent of authors like Mary here, who really got this thing started with Elin, and I mean, before Elin even. I mean, Elin and Terry that really, you know, let publishers know that black people are readers. But that's really changed. So we went through a period where there was a lot of African American people working in major publishing houses. There were a lot of black imprints. And these things are essentially gone now. But again, because we don't have the platforms to make this known, there is no, people just don't know. They walk around and see that their favorite bookstore is non-existent. You know, Hue-Man Bookstore in Harlem, which is an iconic bookstore going back to Denver, Colorado, with was it Emma Rogers, if I'm not mistaken, who started that bookstore, and you know, Clara Villarosa, sorry. Emma Rogers is another iconic bookstore owner. And is her store still? No. Yeah, so I mean, that's a big deal. So from Clara Villarosa to now Marvin Allen, who took it over. I mean, actually ReShonda Tate Billingsley is going to be doing the last signing at Hue-Man on July 27th in New York City. I mean, that was an iconic bookstore, and there's been some discussion about Hue-Man, but not nearly enough. But all of that to say that there is a tremendous opportunity, because we do know we read, we enjoy books, we love our authors and writers, and so we have to support everything that they do. We have to support the platforms that support them. And at the same time, we actually have to support the readers. So we can't always write what's going to generate the most revenue. We have to write a wide variety of things to show appreciation for the readers. So this is why what Clarence is doing is so critically important. And I know it's not easy. It's really hard. It's expensive. And you know, when I think about, well, I won't go into some of the stuff I have to say, but we need to support them. Get the word out. Tell your friends. Try to drag a couple of people to come next year, because when these events die, and they are dying. Hurston Wright Foundation didn't have their awards last year. I mean, this is Yvette Hayward who's doing an event. When's your event coming up?
It's on Thursday, September 27th.
Yeah, these are big things with people who are celebrating art, literature. This is important. So, and as far as my website is concerned, AALBC.com, the African American Literature Book Club. Please visit it. Tell your friends. Click a few ads so I can get paid. And you know, again, thank you, Clarence, for this